Welcome to the Daily Globe. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Tonight, we explore a story of ambition, water, and power. A story that stretches across continents and centuries, shaping the very flow of civilization itself. These are the lifelines that connect nations, fuel economies, and determine the fate of billions. It's a story that could redraw the map of global trade, altering the routes that goods and resources take from one corner of the world to another, and changing the balance of influence between nations. For over a century, world commerce has flowed through a handful of critical man-made arteries, like the Suez and Panama Canals, channels that have defined the rhythms of international trade and the rise and fall of empires. But as these vital routes face mounting threats, from political instability to environmental crises, China is stepping forward, backing colossal canal projects both at home and abroad. These new waterways promise not just faster but more reliable trade routes for trillions of dollars in goods, potentially rewriting the rules of global commerce. This is about more than just digging ditches or moving earth. It's about shifting the very foundations of economic and political power for generations to come. The stakes are enormous, and the ambitions even greater. The scale is staggering: tens of billions of dollars invested, entire mountains moved, and vast ecosystems transformed forever. These projects are reshaping landscapes on a scale rarely seen in human history. Projects like the Pinglu Canal in China and the proposed Nicaraguan Canal are poised to challenge the supremacy of the Panama Canal, offering new shortcuts and alternatives that could shift the flow of global shipping and the fortunes of entire regions. Why does this matter to you? Because the price of your morning coffee, the car you drive, and the phone in your pocket all depend on the cost, speed, and efficiency of global shipping. Every product's journey is shaped by these arteries. But now, climate change is threatening this delicate system. Droughts have choked the Panama Canal, causing massive delays, supply chain shocks, and sending ripples through the global economy. The vulnerabilities are becoming impossible to ignore. China's answer is bold: build new routes, bypass the old bottlenecks, and place itself at the very center of a new global trade network. It's a vision that could redefine the world's economic landscape. The digging has begun, the stakes are high, and the world is watching as a new era of global trade is set in motion. The dream of conquering geography by carving canals is ancient, but the Suez Canal's opening in 1869 changed everything. Suddenly, ships could bypass Africa, slashing travel times and fueling global trade. The Suez success inspired the quest for a canal in Central America. But early, French efforts in Panama failed amid disease and disaster. The U.S. seized the opportunity, supporting Panama's independence and completing the canal in 1914, a triumph of engineering and American ambition. The Panama Canal's locks and artificial lakes set new standards, cutting shipping times in half and rewiring global trade. For over a century, it's been the world's preeminent shortcut, a symbol of ingenuity and power. But no advantage lasts forever. Today, nature itself threatens this vital waterway. The world's trade arteries are under strain, and history may be about to repeat itself. The Panama Canal, once a paragon of reliability, now faces a crisis: climate change. Severe droughts have drained its lakes, forcing drastic restrictions on ship traffic and weight. The result? Massive shipping delays, skyrocketing costs, and a global supply chain on edge. The canal's vulnerability has exposed the fragility of a system built on stable weather. For China, the world's top trading nation, this is more than a headache, it's a strategic threat. The risk of bottlenecks has reignited the dream of new canals, ones less beholden to nature's whims. China is moving fast to build and control these new trade routes. While China's global ambitions often grab international headlines, some of its most transformative projects are unfolding quietly within its own borders. Among these, the Pinglu Canal in Guangxi stands out as a bold and strategic infrastructure initiative that could reshape the nation's economic landscape. This $10 billion, 135-kilometer waterway will carve a direct path from China's vast interior to the open sea, creating a vital new artery for trade and logistics. By providing a faster, more efficient route, it will dramatically slash shipping times and costs for inland economic powerhouses like Chongqing and Chengdu, unlocking new growth opportunities. Scheduled for completion in 2026, the canal is already one of the largest infrastructure projects in China's recent history, employing thousands and driving regional development. Designed to handle massive cargo volumes, it will serve as the backbone of China's new Western International Land-Sea corridor, connecting inland cities to global markets. The Pinglu Canal is a true game-changer, representing a leap forward in China's ability to move goods efficiently and assert its economic strength. By integrating inland province with the booming markets of Southeast Asia, the canal will foster deeper economic ties and boost cross-border trade. It also reduces China's reliance on the US-patrolled Strait of Malacca, giving the country more secure and independent access to international shipping lanes. President Xi Jinping has personally championed the Pinglu Canal, underscoring its significance for national security and long-term prosperity. The development of the Beibu Gulf port, closely linked to the canal, further strengthens China's control over its maritime gateways. With these new logistics hubs, China is poised to enhance its supply chain resilience and expand its influence across the region. While neighboring countries like Vietnam watch these developments with caution, aware of the shifting balance of power, the Pinglu Canal is ultimately about securing China's economic future and ensuring continued growth for decades to come. It's also a powerful tool for projecting Chinese influence and strengthening ties with Southeast Asian partners. The Pinglu Canal may be a domestic project, but its impact will ripple far beyond China's borders, shaping the future of global trade. Across the world, an even bolder vision is being revived: a Nicaraguan canal, with China at the center of this ambitious plan. For decades, the idea of a canal through Nicaragua has captured imaginations, but now, with new international backing, it's closer to reality than ever before. This $64.5 billion, 445-kilometer waterway would dwarf the Panama Canal, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and creating a direct competitor to one of the world's most vital shipping lanes. The proposed route would cut through lakes, rivers, and forests, reshaping Nicaragua's landscape and its role in global trade. Nicaragua's government, with strong Chinese financial and technical backing, is pitching the canal as a modern, reliable alternative, promising not just jobs and economic growth, but a new era of prosperity for the entire region. They envision bustling ports, new infrastructure, and a transformed national economy. Previous attempts to build the canal failed amid fierce protests, environmental concerns, and financial doubts. This time, officials claim they're taking a different approach, addressing environmental and property concerns more seriously, and working to win over skeptical communities. The economic promise is huge, a projected 9 to 10% annual GDP boost and hundreds of thousands of jobs for Nicaraguans. Supporters say the canal could lift millions out of poverty, spark new industries, and put Nicaragua on the map as a global trade hub. For China, the prize is strategic: control over a new global trade artery in America's backyard, reducing reliance on the Panama Canal and expanding its influence in the Western Hemisphere. The canal could reshape shipping routes and global commerce, but the hurdles remain immense: cost overruns, environmental risks to fragile ecosystems, and political instability threaten the project at every turn. Local resistance and international scrutiny are ever present. The world is watching closely to see if this grand vision can finally become reality, or if it will join the long list of failed mega-projects. Will Nicaragua succeed where so many have failed, and can this bold project truly transform the nation's future? These canal projects are more than engineering feats. They're tools of geopolitics. A Chinese-backed Nicaraguan canal would challenge US dominance in Central America, planting Beijing's flag in Washington's backyard. China's role as financier and builder could forge deep, long-term ties with Nicaragua and reshape regional alliances. The canal would give China a trade route free from US influence, securing its supply chains and signaling to Latin America that Beijing is a credible alternative partner. Even the domestic Pinglu Canal strengthens China's hand, binding Southeast Asian economies closer and countering US influence in the Indo-Pacific. The US is alarmed, responding with diplomatic pressure and renewed focus on existing waterways. These canals are now front lines in a global struggle for influence. The stakes are higher than ever. The economic promises of new canals are staggering: billions in investment, jobs, and long-term revenue for host countries. For Nicaragua, the canal could transform its economy, funding social programs and infrastructure. For global trade, new routes mean efficiency, cost savings, and resilience against disruptions. The Pinglu Canal alone is expected to save Chinese companies over $700 million a year, but the risks are just as great: massive deforestation, pollution, and displacement of communities. Environmental damage could devastate agriculture, fishing, and tourism, offsetting economic gains. The financial gamble is huge. If shipping volumes disappoint, Nicaragua could be left with crushing debt. Many grand projects have ended in disappointment, with promises of prosperity giving way to debt and dependency. The world has seen this story before. Experts warn that the Nicaraguan canal faces daunting economic and environmental hurdles. Dr. Brian Eiler of the Stimson Center notes that the $64.5 billion price tag is likely just the beginning. Cost overruns are almost certain. Securing funding for such a controversial project is a massive challenge, especially as China grows more cautious with overseas lending. Without firm financing, the canal remains a dream. Some argue that investing in water management for the existing Panama Canal could be a smarter, more sustainable solution. A new canal could trigger a price war, making both routes unprofitable. The Pinglu Canal, by contrast, has clear state backing and economic logic. In the end, ambition must be tempered by financial and ecological reality. We stand at a turning point in global trade. China's Pinglu Canal is already under construction. Nicaragua's Grand Canal remains a blueprint. These projects embody a new world order, one where old trade routes are challenged and new powers rise. The opportunities are efficiency, resilience, and economic miracles for developing nations. But so are the risks: environmental destruction, social upheaval, and new arenas for great power rivalry. These canals force us to ask, what is the true price of progress and who pays it? The world watches and waits. Will Nicaragua's canal become reality or fade once more into history? Will China's new waterways bring shared prosperity or new dependencies? The future of global trade hangs in the balance.